Let me say something that might land a little uncomfortably. If your business has been at roughly the same level for the past 2 to 3 years, if you are working harder than you ever have, and the results are not matching the effort, if you feel like the next level is somehow always just out of reach, I want to offer you a different explanation than the ones you have probably been given. It's not your strategy. It's not your pricing. It's not the market, the economy, the competition, or the quality of your team. It's your nervous system. Stay with me on this because I know that sounds abstract. By the end of this, you will have a framework you can apply this week. Today, actually. My name is Thomas Trautmann. I have a background in neuroscience. I spent over 2 decades at companies like IBM, HP, AOL, and Bosch, Steelcase, and many more. And for the last several years, I have been working with business owners and executives who are genuinely excellent at what they do and genuinely stuck in a way they cannot explain. And I want to share the framework that has changed more trajectories than anything else I have encountered. It is called the 3R system: revenue, reputation, and relationships. And the reason it works where other frameworks fail is that it treats these 3 things not as separate business functions, but as a single neurological system. Let me start with something that I think is underdiagnosed in the business world. The fear underneath most business performance problems is not the fear of failure in the abstract. It is the fear of being seen as someone who failed to provide. If you're a founder, a CEO, a business owner, there is a part of your brain, an old, deep part, that has attached your sense of worth and safety to your ability to deliver results. Not results on a spreadsheet, results in the eye of the people you love, your partner, your parents, your team, your children, the people whose respect you carry with you into every meeting. When the numbers are soft, that part of your brain does not calmly assess the market conditions. It sounds an alarm. And that alarm floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone, which does something very specific and very inconvenient to your professional performance. It shuts down your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for strategic thinking, creative problem solving, the ability to read a room, the confidence to name your price and hold it. So the business problem creates cortisol. The cortisol creates worse decisions. The worse decisions create more business pressure, which creates more cortisol. It's not a strategy problem, it's a biological loop. Now, let me add a layer to this that most business frameworks completely ignore. That cortisol is not only generated by your business. A significant proportion of the cortisol running through your system on any given workday was generated at home. Research is very clear on this. Unresolved relationship tension, the slow emotional disconnection that happens in many long-term relationships when life gets busy, the particular loneliness of lying next to someone you love but you no longer truly feel connected to. These things keep the cortisol elevated for anywhere from 12 to 18 hours. Which means that the argument you did not have last Sunday, the conversation you keep avoiding, the distance that has slowly been growing between you and your partner, that is showing up in your pitch on Monday morning. It is showing up in how you negotiate, how you price, how you walk into a room. Your home life is a revenue variable. That is not an opinion, that is neuroscience. So when I talk about relationships as one of the 3 pillars of business performance, I am not talking about networking. I'm talking about the intimate, immediate relationships that regulate your nervous system or dysregulate it. And I want to name something that most coaches are too polite to say directly. A lot of the executives I work with are carrying a loneliness that they do not have language for. They are professionally successful, externally respected, privately disconnected. Their partner is worried rather than proud. Their children know their back better than their face. And somewhere underneath the professional performance, there is a person who built off this and is asking, is this what I actually wanted? That question is not a distraction from your business. It is a signal that something in your system needs attention. And until it gets attention, the ceiling stays. Let me talk about the second R, reputation. You have 11 seconds. This is not a motivational number. This is a neurological measurement. In 11 seconds, the amygdala of the person across from you has processed your posture, your vocal tone, your eye contact, the micro expressions you are not aware you are making, and the degree to which your nervous system state makes them feel safe or activated. And here is the part that most people miss completely. The verdict is not primarily about how impressive you are. It is about how regulated you are. The executives who consistently walk into rooms and immediately command attention, who get the callbacks without chasing, who are referred before they are asked, these people are not necessarily the most technically brilliant in the space. They are the most neurologically grounded. A regulated nervous system broadcasts safety. And in any social or professional context, the person who makes others feel safe is always, without exception, the most magnetic person in the room. Your reputation is built one neurological encounter at a time. And it's not built through marketing strategy. It is built through the consistent experience other people have of being in your presence, whether that presence is physical, written, or a screen like this one. Let me give you something concrete you can use today. Before your next important meeting, any meeting, 5 minutes before you walk in or 5 minutes before you get on the call, do not review your notes. Do not check your messages. Do not optimize your talking points. Instead, slow your breathing down to about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out for 3 cycles. Let your jaw release. Feel your feet on the floor and ask yourself one question. What is one thing I genuinely appreciate about this person or this situation? That sequence takes 4 minutes. It measurably lowers cortisol. It activates the prefrontal cortex. It changes your neurological state from vigilant to open. And the version of you that walks in after that 4 minutes is a fundamentally different negotiator, listener, and presence than the one who walks in straight from your inbox. Let me close with revenue, because I want to reframe this word completely. Most business owners define revenue as an outcome, something that results from the right tactics, the right offer, the right sales process. I define revenue as an expression of your nervous system's relationship with worth. Every time you discount before someone asks you to, every time you add an extra deliverables to justify a number you feel uncomfortable with, every time you say yes to a client you got told you to say no to, you are not making a strategic error. You are experiencing a failure of neurological regulation at the moment that matters most. Sorry. The fix is not a new pricing strategy. The fix is building the internal capacity to be in a moment of commercial tension, to feel the other person's resistance or silence, and to remain regulated, confident, and clear. That capacity is built through work on all 3 R's simultaneously, not sequentially, simultaneously. When your relationships are stable and genuinely connected, your cortisol baseline drops. When your cortisol baseline drops, your executive presence improves. When your executive presence improves, your reputation compounds. When your reputation compounds, your revenue follows without the desperate cortisol-driven effort that most business owners are trapped in. Revenue, reputation, relationships. One system, one nervous system. Here is what I want you to take away from this. The ceiling you have been hitting is not an external constraint. It is an internal one. And unlike the market, unlike your competition, unlike the economy, internal constraints are completely within your ability to address. The work starts with an honest look at all 3 R's. Not just your revenue pipeline, not just your LinkedIn presence, the whole system. If you want to do that audit in a structured way, with someone who has done this with a lot of executives. Come and talk to me. The link for a free strategy call is in the description. It is 30 minutes. It is one-on-one, and you will leave with a clear picture of exactly which of your 3 Rs is the primary constraint right now and what to do about it this week. Not next quarter, this week. Your brain has been trying to tell you that it needs what it needs. It is time to listen.